I just recently spent time on NCL's newest cruise ship, the NCL Prima. And well, excitingly, I got to spend that time with my lovely wife, Jenny B. In today's show, I would like to share part of a conversation that Jenny B and I had on the most recent Lido Loca Cruise Podcast, where she lays out all the things she loved about the NCL Prima.
These are the things that I loved.
Okay.
I'm not even going to say liked.
Yes.
I absolutely loved overall NCL Prima. But the 5 things that I loved was the size of that cabin.
The cabin size.
I mean, they really gave good real estate and good thought into how they set up this cabin. It was so roomy.
Yeah.
The bathroom was fantastic. Down to even the balcony seats being so comfortable.
Exactly. It was so funny when we walked in that cabin. I think we both had that moment where we looked at each other and we went, did we book something special?
Is this a balcony?
Is this a mini suite, or is this something, because when, of course, Jenny B, the travel agent here, there's all kinds of cabins on cruise ships, right? Even even inside the balcony genre or category or whatever, there's multiple kinds of balconies. And so a lot of times we get on these cruises, I don't know what we booked. And I'm like, well, did we book something bigger than
surprise,
just a regular balcony? And she's like, no, this is a regular balcony. And it was very spacious. There was plenty of room around the bed to be able to walk and go outside, go to the balcony. There was plenty of room on both sides of the bed to easily get in and out of the bed, which is sometimes a challenge. There was a lot of room between the couch and the desk area. And I thought there was ample storage. And then, of course, the bathroom was configured in a way. First, it had a big stand-up shower with a door.
Which was fantastic.
And it was pretty big. I mean, it was, I think, it was a really big shower. And then they left a lot of floor space in the bathroom so that when you were using the restroom, you had plenty of room there, too. So, yeah.
And a very large sink that you can put all your stuff out and still feel comfortable.
Yeah. And
I mean, it was big enough for us to be in there together.
I think in the shower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we both could have been in the bathroom at the same time. I think we could have both been in the shower at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not always true for cruise showers. The other thing I liked about the cabin, if I can tell you one thing, is I like the decor. Like, it was very, the art was modern, and then the colors were very kind of muted. But, again, they told us they were going for this resort type feel. And I like that. I'm not offended by this move to go to a resort type feel.
No way.
I think it's interesting to say I want to change the thought process around cruising. Cruising doesn't have to mean that we're just going to pile together in every activity. Right. That it can be a little more, because me, it's great to meet people, but I prefer my cruising to be a little more intimate, a little more one-on-one instead of doing stuff in mass. So. Those cabins definitely felt you still, obviously you knew you were on a cruise ship, you knew the balcony was there, you could see the ocean, but it did almost start to feel a little more like a resort type, room than just some, a really boxed in.
It was ocean
cruise cabin. Yeah, it was nice. It was nice.
Really nice.
Really nice.
My second thing that I loved.
Yeah.
Is everywhere that we went, the seating was super comfortable.
Yeah.
I think that they really did a great job on comfy chairs and big chairs and, all the way down to into the theater.
Yeah.
There was nice chairs in there, and I think they hit it for the comfy chair.
The theater was really interesting. It's a theater. I've only seen another theater like this on Virgin Voyages where the actual main seats would retract, almost like bleachers at like a high school gymnasium or something. They could remove those seats, they could retract them, and turn that whole theater into a big dance floor, which is what they did after the Donna Summers thing. And then that's what happened down on deck 6. Now, when you came in on deck 7, they had almost like a balcony element with bench seatings. We had a really good time. There's like they had some bar seats, they had some bar tables, they had some bench seating, and then the auditorium type chairs, the arms would go up in between them, I believe. we definitely saw that
think
happen.
so.
We saw that happen on one chair.
All the way down on 6.
All the way down on 6, where you could manipulate the arm rest in between 2 chairs and lift it up. So that actually, a lot of these auditoriums you go into, these cruise theaters that you go into, it's fixed seating where you got to squeeze in between the armrest if that's what you have to do. And so the option to be able to lift up the armrest was really made that theater a lot more inviting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool.
I'm going to go now to the next thing that was wonderful was the decor on the entire ship.
Yeah.
Everywhere you looked, everything was just so beautiful. Like glass vases and just very unique art throughout the whole ship.
There's a lot of good artwork, and then I didn't notice it until I did the ship tour, and make sure you guys check out the ship tour. There was a sculpture garden on the side of Deck 8, and apparently at night they light that sculpture garden up. So there's already something on my bucket list when I go to the Viva or if I go back on the Prima. We got to go figure out what the deal is with that sculpture garden. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think also they did nice little touches, right? Like on the outside of the ship, the walls had some kind of, what would you call it?
It was like textured. I mean,
yeah, textured instead of just being steel.
Like a metal, outside of a ship.
Yeah.
They put a lot of money into the decor. And again, there were so many little pieces of art too. Out in front of Los Lobos, there was a whole, I would say it's like 50 shadow boxes of little, I don't even know, maybe ceramic art pieces. And then even in the buffet, they had pots and they had all kinds of interesting stuff. So a lot of money was spent on art on that cruise ship. I would agree with you. I really enjoyed the decor. It was all subtle and muted. Now, sometimes I like a loud cruise ship. I like a loud nautical, pink, purple, taupe, not taupe, that's brown, but pink and purple and the fuchsia, that's what I was trying to think of. Sometimes that's great on the high seas, but it was very chill I think it was a very chill vibe. And they used a lot of blues, which I don't know if you guys know, but they used a lot of blues.
Might be one of Tony's favorite colors.
I quite enjoyed the blue aesthetic on the Prima also.
I agree.
Beyond the decor, what else did you love?
Beyond the decor, I loved the little touches that I saw around the ship, right? A lot of times, and it was funny because one of our friends has said, Jen, you got to find this out for me. How come cruise ships do not have trash bins around? And, it's the truth. You don't have it around. So then, of course, that's when you see little things on the floor everywhere.
Yeah.
I loved the fact that at every elevator, there was a trash bin.
Yeah.
Right? And there was also room for you to leave your empty glasses or throw out your trash.
It was so smart. Like I don't think I've ever seen, now I'm going to start looking more for trash cans on cruise ships. But true, inside these elevator banks, it would be about midway down the wall. There would be a cutout square and, there would be a trash can. And then there would be plenty of room on each side for people to deposit glasses that they needed to be collected and brought back. So many times we've been on cruise ships where you get in the elevator and somebody's just left their glass on the elevator or just in the hallway or just on the floor somewhere. I think that was a really smart move. And, talking about elevators, the elevators are kind of nice too. What was interesting is, they know that people are going to pile into the elevators. They use kind of like an art, a light fixture, this infinity looking into space type lighting in the back of the elevator. And it really made those elevators feel even bigger than what they were. So that's, like you said, those subtle small touches, very, very apparent when you start looking on that cruise ship, even down to the carpet where they replaced the old fish carpet. NCL has this carpet that they normally use where there's fish on the floor and the fish are pointing toward the forward of the ship, the head of the fish. Well, now to keep the modern aesthetic there, they use triangles, but even down to the carpet, it was they were paying attention to the details.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I agree. And then, of course, I loved the new way to eat on NCL with the Indulge.
Right. Yeah. So I just put out this video about the Indulge food hall. And just to clear up some questions, Indulge is kind of a new innovative way to get food quickly on the Prima, and it's included food. They have breakfast, they have a grab and go there, and then they have lunch and they have dinner. This does not replace the buffet.
No.
They have a buffet. This does not replace the main dining room. A lot of people have asked, how does this compare to Virgin Voyages? Virgin Voyages, they basically, changed the buffet concept and they've done it a different way.
Right.
And then they've done away with the main dining room concept and they've done it a different way. This Indulge is just an addition to the normal cruise stuff. So addition to buffet, addition to the main dining room. And I thought it was a great option. I really enjoyed the ease of that. I heard some complaints. Maybe there wasn't enough food selection. But, with each of the little food areas, I felt like you got 5 or 6 different choices. I ate there 3 or 4 times and never struggled to find, something to eat.
Right.
So.
I agree. I think that, if it was the noodle bar, they had 6 options.
Yeah.
And then they had probably about maybe 5 different areas.
Yeah. I can't remember how many stations. But
yeah, I think there was 5 or 6.
Yeah.
But I mean, great options.
Yeah. And it was interesting, even in the noodle area, when you think noodles, maybe you think just Asian noodles. They had, they also had Italian.
Right.
They had a variety of stuff. So it was.
And what I liked about that also, I was talking to one of the solo cruises, and at each different station, they have bar stools. So they would eat there and not feel like they were really alone, right? Because they would talk to the chefs, they would talk to the people that were, passing by. So I think they kind of nailed it on it, and there's another Starbucks there. I've heard little things about that Starbucks, but it was kind of nobody went there.
Is Starbucks coffee on one of the things that you loved about that ship?
Yes.
2 Starbucks. And now,
two
Starbucks, and now they've made a way that you can get unlimited Starbucks either on its own plan or you can add it to a plan.
Right.
That was nice. I'm usually not that excited about having a beverage package, but our beverage package this time included all the water, sparkling water, and coffee that we could handle. And with 2 Starbucks on board, that was nice.
Well, and listen, it was a great deal.
Yeah.
To go ahead and do the upgrade.
Yeah.
So
the interesting thing about NCL, they have this thing free at sea, and inside of free at sea, you can get drinks at sea, but you have to pay the gratuities.
Right.
And so some people complain about that program saying, well, it's not really free at sea. But to me, it's one of the least expensive drink packages.
Absolutely.
So, what you're paying for the gratuities for a week's worth of alcoholic beverages is still a lot cheaper than what you pay on other cruise lines. Now, the big knock to that program is they don't necessarily include water. They don't necessarily include specialty coffee.
Right.
And so for even a little bit more, which still tends to be less than what you would pay for a drink package on, say, Royal or Carnival, still for less than that, you can get those things added. So that's one thing I like about NCL is they make it kind of easy to get that drink package and really give you some options for what you have with that drink package.
I'm just trying to figure out. So it came out to about $45 a day.
$45 a day for the add-on too, right? So for the free at sea and the add-on, they gave us the water and the coffee.
Right.
And canned sodas. Yeah.
That's correct.
So $45 a day seems really reasonable. Our coffees are $6 on the cruise ship. And so you have a couple coffees, you have a couple drinks, a couple sodas, a couple waters. All of a sudden you're at $45 a day. So, even if we don't hit the $45 a day, you're paying a little bit for a no hassle factor.
That's exactly it too. Yeah.
Get what you want whenever you want without counting the cost.
Well, listen, I was getting the mocktail of a Bloody Mary with extra olives. Boy, that was good.
It was good stuff. Yeah, the only thing, I wish they had the big olives. I tell you, I think they're called Queen olives, Queen green olives. That's my favorite. What else did you love on the NCL Prima, Jenny B?
I just loved it all.
You loved it all? So
that's it.
What
about you? What was your number one love of NCL?
So that's Jenny B's love. She said she loved it all, but that's not necessarily true. We did a good 20 minutes on the things she did not love, and that's over on the Lido Loca Cruise Podcast. You can get that in audio form where you get podcasts, or you can come over to the Lido Loca Cruise Podcast YouTube channel and you can see the full video. We talk about what she loved, what she didn't love, and we also talk about how people choose their cruises. What's the main motivator? Is it price? Is it itinerary? Is it, well, there's several other things that we talk about. I would invite you to come check out the podcast, subscribe to the podcast channel to get the full conversation. Thank you guys so much for checking out this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I would invite you to subscribe to the YouTube channel to stay up to date with everything that's going on in cruising. Show your support by hitting the like button. This is Tony for Lido Loca. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.